Alright, so with the given variable definition, translate between an algebraic formula and an English sentence. So we have a variable definition in A where capital F equals the degree Fahrenheit and C is the degree Celsius. So when we see a formula, C equals 5/9 and then times a quantity, it looks like F minus 32. We just want to replace in our translation what C and F represent and then represent the math that's involved. So we got the equal sign. That's an is. So on the left side we have degrees Celsius. Is, and then so we have a quantity that's being multiplied, so it's 5/9 times the quantity of, and then we'll just represent that quantity. So 5/9 not 9/9, and then we'll say times the quantity, or times, and then what is the quantity? So it's the subtraction or the difference, right? So we'll explain that as the difference of degrees Fahrenheit. That's the first. And then we got 32. So degrees Celsius is 5/9 times the difference of degrees Fahrenheit and 32. So again, we need some way to show that quantity in parentheses. So we use the difference of to explain it. Okay, the next problem we have in English translation, distance equals rate times time. We want to write it as algebra in the formula here. So first of all, the word equals right here. I'm just going to put that equal sign. On the left side we have distance. Well, that's represented as d. And on the right side we have rate times time. Well, rate is r and t is, and time is t. So r times t would just be rt. Okay, and that one's probably pretty common for everybody. And then the next one, the average speed is the quotient of distance and time. So again, we have our is, which represents the equal sign. The average speed is the rate, so that's the same thing as the rate. So in our equation, it would start out r equals, and then the quotient of, right, the quotient of is a division with the fraction bar, and then distance and time, whatever's listed first, distance would be d, and time, which is t. So this would be d over t. So that would be the average speed, or the rate, is the quotient of distance and time. Okay, the next problem, we're given a formula with the variable definitions. P is profit, R is revenue, C is cost, and we want to translate this into English. And basically we can just read it. P equals, so this part here, P equals, we'll just translate into profit is, and then we need to explain this subtraction. So maybe we can say the difference of, and then just list the two things in order. So R is revenue, and C was cost. So profit is the difference of revenue and cost. And then the last one, we're given English. It says the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So again, the area of the circle is represented by A, capital A, is would be equals, and then pi times the radius squared. So again, the radius is r, squared would be like that. So we would have a, capital A, equals pi, and then times, which is just, you could use multiplication or just leave it, r squared. And that's probably a pretty common formula that you've seen before too. But again, we just want to be able to translate between and understand how algebra is telling us, right, in English, in our own words, what the association is between these quantity values.